and thank you for the opportunity to speak in front of this wonderful crowd with all of this excitement. And so, give you a little bit of background here on us. We're a widget dealer, much like all of you. Our widgets may be a little bigger than yours, and some of your widgets may be a little smaller than ours, but we got to move widgets. And so we're using the game to try to figure out how to move widgets, because in the widget game, size doesn't matter. What matters is the game, and that we're able to use the tools within the game to move our widgets. We cover 2 states, which brings us some difficulty in communicating with our employees. So the assignment today, when Christy called me and asked me to speak main stage, the assignment was share with the group one thing, one takeaway that the game has done for you as a business owner. I can't share just one. There's too many. We can talk about why we started to play the game and the things that it brought to us when we began. And we started to play the game initially because we had a bonus program that wasn't working. But along with that, we wanted to enrich lives, create more wealthy people, help associates understand how business works, and continue to share the outcome. And so some of the reasons why we continue to play is culture, retention, recruiting, financial, and improve the outcome. And so I was beating my head trying to figure out, after playing for the number of years that we've played, what we're getting out of the game today and what it's doing for us. As a business owner, Jack summed up the other owners in Alaska, and as a business owner here in front of you today, I can tell there's a lot of freedom for an owner associated with getting involved in the game. A lot of freedom. And so for me, that's a big reason why we continue to play. But I'd like to share my thoughts on what the game's going to do for Gener Ag going forward. In 2018, we had a challenge. And the challenge was, I don't know how many of you know much about the ag business, but commodity prices went from $7 to $3, corn. Soybeans went from about $14 to $7, $8. There was this huge vacuum sound in agriculture. We lost 50% of our employees over a 2-year period. And we woke up one day and realized that our average workforce age was 38. And so we had huge generational issues within the company, and how do we break down the barriers amongst the generations? So in 2018, we came with the following saying. We're number 1 on our objective list this year is to bridge the gaps. And as we think about bridging the gaps, we think about bridging the generational gaps. But I really think we're saying the same thing that the great game is saying with close the gaps. Because if we can close the gaps and help all of the generations understand what we're trying to accomplish with the great game of business, we can move more widgets. A challenge for us, as I mentioned, if you think about the lavender or purple circle, that's our hub. And outside of that hub, we have all of these technicians, salesmen, precision ag people traveling. And so we have a challenge about how we bridge the gaps with that, particularly as we see change in that area, as we see continued change. And so I want to talk about the generations a bit. This is how we view the generations. You may view them differently. This is our spin of it. My dad's a traditionalist. If they made a hat that said traditional on it, that'd be my dad. Call my dad up, how's things going? I'm writing a letter. What are you writing a letter about? I'm mad, so I'm writing them a letter. That's how they deal with their challenges. I'm a boomer. We like to speak face-to-face or on the phone. I try to call my daughter. She's a millennial, and she says, Dad, I texted that to you. And I said, I haven't seen it yet. Can we just talk about it? No, I'll text it to you because I'm at the mall with my friend Angie. How'd you and Angie meet up? Well, she knew I was at the mall because she's on my Find My Friends app, and she just texted me and said, I see you're at the mall and I want to meet you there. What? I don't want anybody to know where I'm at, right? So we're challenged with all of these generational issues within our company, and we tried to figure out a way how we're going to bridge these gaps with these people. We try to use this matrix within our company to try to communicate, have the learning, expectation as our 3 key components. And here's one thing that the game does for us. We all have this vision of an expectation, but the reality of it is it might be messed up. So we go to bed and it's this beautiful, we have these beautiful numbers when we forecast, but we come in the following week and we realize the reality of it is we're not going to make our numbers. And the game exposes this and raises the expectations with all the generations within our company. So this is our audience within our company, because these are the people that are coming into our company that we've got to figure out a way to teach the language of business to. And so as we use the different generational things and what turns them on, we found within our company that the millennials absolutely love the transparency, and they expect it. And as they get engaged in our group, they very quickly learn that open book is what they want to be a part of. And the great game of business has become more than just a financial tool for us. To quote Jack Stack, and we certainly feel it in our industry, there is a tremendous war on qualified talent. And we are really struggling to find qualified people to do the jobs that we have open. We have open jobs right now. And it's just a really very tough space for us in this talent area. And so what we've found in playing the game is every associate responds to the common core values. Everybody understands more profit, everybody understands less expenses, everybody understands the transparency, and everybody understands gameplay. The challenge is teaching the rules of the business. And that's where the great game, along with closing the gaps and us trying to bridge the gaps, comes in play. Because as we look at trying to grow the barriers amongst the generations, we use the great game of business as a tool today to do that. And that's a much different reason than why we started playing the great game of business. One thing we found about the great game of business when it comes to Gener Ag is it continues to evolve. It continues to change. It's a living being within our organization. It's never something, it's like a flower. It's never something that we can leave unattended. We have to continue to tend to it and continue to prune it and continue to water it and continue to take care of it. Because as our business grows, as events within our business change, as the marketplace changes, we have to change the great game of business to suit the needs that we have at the current time. All of what we learned when we started playing the great game of business is just there. It just stays there. We don't really talk about the critical number, what we call the performance point, much anymore, because it's just there. The mechanics of the behind the scenes stuff's just there. It just happens. So we've had to try to figure out what are our next challenges with our workforce and the marketplace and how we're going to deal with that challenge. And what we're doing today is we're using the great game of business to bridge the generational gaps. Today, the game is our #1 recruiting and retention tool. And as we hire millennials, they will stand in front of our company meetings and say, I have friends that would come and work here and take my place, if that's what it took, to have this kind of transparency and this kind of openness. They expect it, they demand it, they want it, and it's what Gener Ag is going to have to do to continue to get the people that we need to get to move the business forward. We continue to change gameplay every year, retooling. We're a company that's not afraid to hit reset. Something's not working when it comes to great game of business, we flush it and we start over, never afraid to change and try to do something different. So just not afraid to hit reset. Parting thoughts. We found that with the great game of business, you get multiple generations working together to grow your business. Forget about all the part that you get initially, which is freedom for myself, shared interest in the business, not feeling alone when the marketplace went from $7 to $3, feeling like I had a team of individuals to support me through that. We're actually a pioneer in the dealer area amongst Case, IH, and AGCO dealers in playing the great game of business. And I have counterparts that have had a lot tougher time getting through the downturn in the economy and not survived it because they didn't have the transparency and the involvement that I had. I didn't have to go it alone. You simplify, but you don't eliminate social, generational, economic differences with gameplay. It brings everyone to a common ground, and the game and the war becomes the business and the external customer as opposed to the inside the organization. Your workforce is much more satisfied knowing the challenges the business faces, particularly the millennials. They're very interested in what they can do. They're extremely intelligent and can multitask. Extremely intelligent, but they want to know what they can do and how they can help you. Motivation is coming through multiple touches. It's not me. I don't tell anybody what to do. I don't set any goals. It's coming from multiple sources and multiple touch points within our organization. And so that's very helpful to me as a business owner in that I don't have to feel like that I'm always the one pushing that. So the Great Game helps us with that motivational piece by challenging each other and not me challenging them.